Today, soccer functions as a global institution. Governed by FIFA, the sport coordinates upwards of 240 million players through an administrative network of 211 national associations. But 2,000 years ago, this level of organization didn't exist. Early variations of the game appeared independently across ancient China, Greece, Rome, and Mesoamerica, with no central authority to link them. These early matches were physically unpredictable. The ball was often a heavy rock or a simple animal hide stuffed tightly with hair. Because the games were highly localized, they relied on contradictory rules. Players frequently clashed over basic mechanics, as there was no clear distinction between using your feet and using your hands. To move beyond a fragmented regional pastime, the game required a strict, universally accepted operating system. The first major shift toward a modern structure occurred in 1863, when a group of clubs in England formed the first football association. This body introduced the sport's first technical standards, such as mandating the exact size and weight of the match ball to ensure every game felt the same. This diagram shows the point where the logic of the game diverged. The FA outlawed carrying the ball with the hands. This mandate effectively created two separate sporting entities. Those who wanted to handle the ball played rugby, while those who used their feet became association footballers. Standardizing this single rulebook provided the essential mechanism needed to export the game outward from English schools to the rest of the world. As the rules codified, industrialization shifted the game's demographic. The sport moved out of elite schools and into factory yards and work-based clubs. This transition created an economic engine. Working-class fans began buying tickets, providing the revenue for clubs to offer players monetary incentives for the first time. This model traveled quickly. In 1874, school teachers introduced the game to Germany, laying the groundwork for what would eventually become the professional Bundesliga. Simultaneously, immigrants brought the sport across the Atlantic, establishing some of the first organized soccer leagues in the United States. This interest culminated in the United States hosting the 1994 World Cup, which directly led to the launch of Major League Soccer in 1996. By turning regional matches into ticketed professional events, these early leagues created a template that allowed the sport to sustain itself as a global trade. While domestic leagues were booming, they remained isolated. Connecting them required an overarching international network. This integration began when the International Olympic Committee recognized the sport in 1900, bringing localized teams onto a global stage. In 1930, FIFA moved beyond the Olympic framework to host its own independent tournament, a World Cup that required the massive infrastructure seen here at Montevideo's Estadio Centenario. Regional governance soon followed. Continental championships, like the Euros, were introduced in 1960 to determine champions across entire landmasses. These international and continental tournaments succeeded in merging city-based fandom into a unified global spectacle. This is the administrative map of the modern game. Every nation on Earth falls into one of 6 massive regional confederations. In 1934, only 32 countries participated in World Cup qualifying. Today, over 200 nations take part in the same unified system. This growth demonstrates that soccer's expansion wasn't driven solely by the game itself, but by the rigid administrative layers that govern how matches are scheduled and recorded globally. By locking together standardized rules, professional leagues, and international oversight, the sport built a framework coordinating hundreds of nations within one set of boundaries.